So today we're taking a look at the Invicta Pro Diver series. Now this is a rather large watch, but it also is a 300-meter, they call it a dive watch from Invicta. It is an automatic, despite the listing on Amazon that says they're quartz in the product description, but actually in the images below it is an automatic, and it does have the Seiko NH35A movement in it, which is actually a pretty reliable movement. A lot of fairly entry-level watches have the Seiko movement in them. For an automatic movement, it keeps pretty good time. It doesn't lose a lot of time over a course of a few days. The weakness on these are typically the bands. The pins kind of give out eventually. I've had one of these that I wore daily for almost 3 years. It is a watch that, while it looks really nice, it's not the most high-end watch on the market, but you don't feel near as bad beating on it during a day-to-day use. That most people don't want to be carrying around a Rolex. They don't want to be carrying around an Omega for most jobs that you're actually going to beat it up some. I mean, I was a college student at the time. I wasn't going to thrash this thing every day in and out of backpacks, in and out of classrooms, catching it on things. It just wasn't worth it to carry a very expensive watch. And I do have Citizen watches. I do have higher end watches as well. I have a Longines as well. But for a pretty entry-level watch, these are great value for the money. If you're going to keep them for 3-4 years, they're going to give you good run time. I've had one of them fail, but it was one of their different movements. It wasn't the movement that's in this. This is a more reliable movement, and it's one of their early watches. But I wore it for 4 years. I got plenty of use out of it for the price that I paid for it. And I'd say this would be the same case with this one. This is also one of those watches, if you really want to take something to the pool or to the ocean or something, you can do so, and you won't feel terrible about it, because you're not paying thousands and thousands of dollars for these watches, and they hold up. They do pretty well. I've had mine in water. I've had it in various situations, from hand washing to pool use to. Nonetheless, pretty good product. It does have a screw down crown on it, which is an added bonus, but just be aware it is quite large. I mean, I have fairly large hands, and it is a pretty good size watch. It's 47 millimeters according to the listing. I'd say that's pretty much spot on, and it is pretty heavy. It is stainless steel throughout. It has the pass-through window on the back like most automatics do, and I believe you can actually manually wind it as well. So if you do want to throw it on for an evening and you haven't wound it, that is an option as well. But overall, great watches. Highly recommend them.